This happened in the last episode of Isla Napali. A go-kart track has been added in the middle of the dive coaster and also the octopus area, alongside which a flat ride has been added between restaurant and the dive coaster. Then we also had a new addition to the stairs and the support ways of the dive coaster, which are located beneath the support hill and also the second dive. For the splashdown we have added a new structure, which is a better way to get down by new stair connection down to the splashdown area. And also, a new chairlift has been added to the park. Now enjoy the next episode of Isla Napali. Hey everybody, and welcome back to Isla Napali in episode number 28 now. I hope you liked the new intro, which is more like a backflash of last episode. I was kind of doing it like in all these episodes you see on Netflix, or in the series you see on Netflix, Amazon Prime or whatnot. I found this to be a funny thing to do, and I hope you enjoyed this as well. It was quite a struggle to get this done and nailed the first time, so it took me a few tries until I finally figured out how this will be done. This episode will be, and I hit my microphone again, oh gosh, I will never stop doing that. In this episode we are going to be working mainly on, well, I should say solely, on the switch track of the coaster, which is located over here on the side of kind of the seaside of the harbor area, or which is basically the old cargo terminal. We've been talking about this quite a bit in the first episodes of Isla Napali, but then, you know, with the dive course and all the other stuff, this has been kind of paused. It was just put back to another time and this time has come now. I finally want to get rid of this area, to be honest, to finally finish this off. It's not completely finished. There is just a little bit to do after this episode, which I will do off screen, since this is just some nitpicky little things in between. Also, you will see that I will be working mainly, the most part of the video will be doing the switch track kind of wrong. I did it kind of, I based it on the switch track of Lost Gravity in Wallaby, Holland, and I kind of didn't find too nice pictures of this, so I was building that off a POV, right, and I was kind of misunderstanding how this really worked, so I was heading to Bro Nation again, and people were too kind to help me again, so I hope that the second iteration of it is a little bit better than what you will see in the beginning. But first of all, we will be doing just a little bit of interior work over here. Nothing too special, actually. As I said, I wanted to kind of keep this remaining a cargo hall, so nothing too fancy. It is, again and again, I have to say this, but it still is a little bit of a budget park, or at least the history of the park has been created out of a budget park, so you wouldn't expect for these rides a crazy new theming of these areas. They will make the best of the available buildings, of course, but, you know, there is not that big of a new theming around here. The coaster has been mainly added to kind of draw new people into the park, and once they make some more money, they were able to at least bring the dive coaster with the souvenir shop and stuff in, which is already a bit more of a newer addition. I still wanted to use these wooden things here and there, since they brought in a little bit of more suitable items, which is a little bit more Hawaiian, kind of this Hawaiian style you would kind of expect, which is more like a little bit Polynesian inspired, which is, as I explained in the first episodes, not that what you are mainly seeing on Hawaii. Hawaii's main architectural style is definitely Victorian, or kind of a Native American style. So these pretty easy little sheds and houses with a lot of wood, and then have colorful roofs and stuff like that. As I said, just featuring a lot of roof elements, but also with some brick structures, and also sometimes just pretty basic whitish and yellowish and darkish reddish walls. So not really featuring this kind of what we had in Kauai Beach, where we used mainly the Bora Bora style, which is really Bora Bora and not Hawaii, and this is why I tried to keep this as much as possible in a more generic style, which is I think the better way to go. And most people, or like, let's say these people watching my videos who are from Hawaii, they pretty much already told me that they are really into this, since this really looks like on Hawaii, and this is what I wanted to get done with the series. And I didn't want to make some fake Hawaii, which is not realistic, since this is a hyper-realism attempt. we definitely need to look also at really how is it really looking there, and how would this kind of, you know, develop over time. And this is why, again, a little bit of a longer explanation about this special area over here. But yeah, the rest of this episode will be, and now we don't need really to talk about architectural styles, because this is, if you want to call this is factory style. This is basically just pure backstage switch track stuff. I mean, people shouldn't be seeing this too much, so this is also why I try to hide that as much as possible in the backstage area of this ride. You can see it a little bit from the entrance area, but once you're in the park, you are potentially not able to see that. The only time you will see that is from riding the coaster, actually. But you know, since the theming is mainly to draw people onto the coaster, we have kind of already reached our goal here, so people have been stepping on the coaster, so it's not too bad if they see a little bit of the coaster at least. Sorry, of the switch track. That's what I want to say. I'm a little bit confused today, guys. Sorry. Tomorrow's my birthday, so we do still have a lot to do here in our flat to tidy it up and stuff, and so I'm a little bit in distress. There's also a reason why this episode's a bit later today. I'm not quite sure if I will be able even to record something for tomorrow or for Sunday. Potentially not, so maybe there will be like of videos on the weekend and then continue on Monday with the stream, hopefully. Can't guarantee that yet. Maybe we're gonna have another appointment regarding our new flat, so quite some busy days again. If you didn't want to know that, fine, you still got the info here, because I hope you guys still enjoyed the series and I want to keep that going. That said, I have already recorded the footage for the next episode, which is awesome. I can't wait to share that with you. This one is a bit more boring in terms of new additions, since we are working on something old and already existing, even though I have to say I like this episode quite a bit, since I'm usually not doing this stuff. So also for me this was a little bit, and you can also see from the building it's still sped up as always 7 times, but it's slower than usually, which is down to the fact that I really don't build switch tracks that often. Actually, I've just built that once, and so my experience level on that is pretty low, and this is also why I always needed to look at some pictures and stuff. So this took a little bit, and I even cut out a few things which took too long and which looked way too ridiculous to keep them even in. But as I said, what you can see over here is basically only the beginning right now. I have to change a few things, and I'm gonna explain a little bit more why I did what I did, since this is not too obvious, honestly. I found these pieces in the custom support segment of the menu to be most helpful, and to be very helpful to build this kind of thing over here. So this is the switch track mechanism. So this kind of little thing keeps the coaster track in position. I'm gonna put a cable down here so that they are also, it looks like they have energy over here, and also putting some more cables here and there just to connect a little bit more. And we're gonna have also a little bit of electricity box close to here. And as you can see, I was then trying to do some stuff, but I figured that I mainly did a big mistake. I don't know why I put this slider, why I even duplicated it and put that over there, because usually what happens is that this piece of track where the coaster car is now located on would just slide over into the other area, and then it would connect to basically the switch track, which then is not exactly at the same level, but it has to be a little bit off, which you will see in the end of this episode when I'm going to fix this. So I also tried a little bit of having some wheels down here, tried it with my stroller and stuff, and the cool thing about this is that I really see that, you know, TMT items are not only, you know, I'm still not using stuff how it is meant to be used, which I think is pretty good, since it still keeps the freedom in the game that we still make weird stuff with all the pieces available. As you can see over here as well, I'm going to make a double energy box over here, putting a ladder here, which is all stuff from the TMT stuff, which is pretty easy to use in a different way. Even though I have to say this one, which is an intimate connector, done by, I have no idea, but you will find that in my collection. As always, the collection is in the links in the description of this video. There is a link to my Steam collection where all the mods I use for Isla Napali are located in. So if you want to subscribe to those awesome things, you can just go there and check them out. Again, as this security camera over here is always in there as well. I like this asset quite a bit, so I put that here. and also connected everything via cable, so that is, as I said, always trying to be as realistic as possible. But this also means we needed to keep an eye on custom supporting, and I kind of avoided that for months now, since I didn't really feel like I wanted to do this, and I didn't feel too comfortable to do it. But at some point now I need to do this, and now it's up to you guys to give me some serious feedback on that, because I have no idea if this is kind of realistic what I'm going to do here. So my idea about the supports of this area, especially over here, is that the forces that will be coming from the coaster are mainly going to be vertical and horizontal in terms of pushing it back. So I wanted to make sure that these two supports over here are not only supported by one single support. I will also connect them so they have kind of a, as you can see over here, I'm gonna make two of these horizontal supports connecting the two vertical supports to make sure that those two share the kind of forces that will be put onto them. And then I made another little arm over here which then supports a little bit more of this overall overbanked turn over here, which I then also thought, okay, it needs another little edge support in here, and I again made this with the intimate connector to make sure that I use a piece that kind of fits in terms of sizes but also in terms of color. And so yeah, I just struggled a little bit to find the right angle, but then I came here to make it triangular to also make sure that the support is capable of dealing with the forces put onto it by the coaster. Maybe I will need some more support to the actual vertical supports over here. I'm not quite sure if I will need them, you have to tell me, but I feel like I would need another triangular structure over there as well, to make sure that it doesn't really gets put too much to the back side. So once the coaster gets on it, there is some pressure, and imagine we have some more winds that also push against this. I was hoping that the coaster is still capable of keeping the forces, but not going to be break down from what's going to push there. But maybe we need some more backside support of this big thing. Also I made some more supports in all these areas where it hasn't been put any support, since the coaster track is overlapping, and then you delete basically, you know, the structures you have. And yeah, that's the reason why I did this, and I think it still works out pretty well. Also needed to make sure that the other corkscrew we have over here gets another support, because at the moment it doesn't, and so I was just copying it over and making sure. As you can see here, by the way, I am always using a grid piece to copy things over, since the gizmo is still a little bit well, let's stop talking about this. It still worked. I got it positioned somehow, and as you can see over here, I am also doing this support. I always was trying to make sure that the coaster car has enough space between the imaginary arms of the dummies, because they don't have any arms, which is a little bit of a I don't know. I mean, I think many of the dummies don't really have them in real life, but it would be kind of cool to at least have some arms to have a better feeling of where the coaster would hit some structures or where not. But yeah, in the end it worked out pretty good. Here we go into the footage where I basically just fix what I've done here, since this was pretty much totally unrealistic. And so what I did instead is I created a little bit of a switch track where at most one coaster train could be located, but actually at max two, but just one train within the shed I'm going to build in a second, and the other one on the switch track itself, which is then at least a little bit secured by the roof on top of it. So I think you could also position the other two cars within the big building. So I think a max of 4 cars would be possible for this coaster to be running at the same time and to be actually there in general, because there is no way of kind of storing them in general. So that's the reason why I also needed to look at this. I mean, we have to look at things like that, because otherwise this is not working out in general. But yeah, that's already the end of this episode. I hope you liked it. This time there is no cinematic at the end, because I want to shift this to the next episode, so you have kind of a reminder what worked and what was happening, so in case you forgot. But yeah, let me know if you like this new format, and let me know if you like the switch track, if it's realistic, and what about the coaster supports. I hope to see you in the next episode, and until then, have a great day, and bye bye. We should be hiding out wherever we may find